today we are going to discuss on application of the Bohr's model theory on hydrogen atom. So we are going to discuss application of Bohr's theory on hydrogen atom. So today we are going to discuss this topic. So this is a very important topic for examination as well as the competitive exam also. So before going to start, what we apply, what we identify with the help of the Bohr's theory, step by step we will discuss. We are already well familiar. Hydrogen is one electron and one proton atom. That means inside the nucleus one proton is available. In the revolving orbital, that is the stationary orbital, one electron will revolve. Here is the one electron, here is the one proton. So with help of the Bohr's model theory, what can we identify? That is, we need to, first of all, we need to discuss that points. After that, we will apply everything. See here, nucleus is available, electron is revolving at a stationary orbit. That means they must have some distance between the nucleus and revolving stationary orbit. That means it will have the radius. So first thing, definitely with they will have the radius. We can find out the radius. That means AD, radius of electron. That means what is the distance between nucleus to electron? We need to find out. That means R we need to find out. Second one, when the electron is revolving in a stationary orbit, that electron should possess some velocity. That means we need to find out velocity of electron. So how much velocity the electron is revolving, that we need to find out. So when the electron is revolving, it will complete some rotations in a particular time. That means here the electron is there, then it is rotating in a particular orbit, then it can rotate in a particular orbit. So it can complete the rotations in a particular time. That the time period can be found out. That means third point, we need to find out time period of the electron. That means how much time taken to complete one revolution of the electron, that we need to find out. So that if the electron is revolving in a particular orbit, it can revolving in 1 second. How much revolutions is completed, we can find out. That means that is named as the frequency. So frequency we need to find out. Frequency of electron we need to find out. Here electron is revolving in a particular orbit with a certain velocity. Then electron will have the mass. Electron is revolving with a particular velocity. Then the electron will possess some kinetic energy. That kinetic energy we need to find out. Fifth point, we need to find out kinetic energy of electron. How much kinetic energy possessed by the electron in a stationary orbit? We need to find out that. Here is the proton is available, here is the electron is available. The electron is in the influence of the electrostatic force. That means the electron is having the potential energy also. That means how much potential energy the electron is having, that we need to find out. Potential energy of electron. We need to find out this one also. If the electron is having kinetic energy as well as the potential energy, that means the electron will have the total energy of the electron. We need to find out. 91 total energy of the electron. We need to find out this one also. Sometimes the electron will jump from higher energy level to lower energy level. So if you take, for your understand, if one more stationary orbit is available here, let's assume for your understanding only, if the electron is jumped, let's assume this is the for higher energy level. So if the electron is jumped from higher energy level to lower energy level, then it will radiate the energy. That means it will radiate the energy. So that energy frequency we need to find out. So we can find out the frequency of the radiating energy. Frequency of the energy. So we can easily find out this one. So these are the points. What is the electron will possess when the electron is revolving in an atom? They may have the radius, they may have the electron will have the velocity, the electron will have the time period, the electron is having the frequency, the electron will have the kinetic energy, potential energy, total energy, and also it will having the wave number also, frequency as well as the wave number also. These many points we need to discuss with help of the Bohr's theory. This theory we need to find out. Now we will discuss one by one. Now we are concentrating first point. What is the radius of the electron which is having in a hydrogen atom? For your convenience only we are taking the hydrogen atom. We are applying the Bohr's theory for hydrogen atom. Now we are taking, let's assume here is the nucleus. The electron is revolving in a stationary orbit in a circular shape. That electron is revolving in a circular shape. Let's assume this is the electron. See, hydrogen atom will having the nucleus one proton it is having. It is the electron. It is the stationary orbit is revolving. Let's assume the distance between the electron and nucleus is let's assume r. Now, if the electron is revolving at a stationary orbit, then there must be a centrifugal force which is acting outward direction to the circular orbit. It will have the centripetal force. The force is which is acting outward direction, that is the force of centripetal force, Fc. Right here, one force is acting centripetal force. Centrifugal force. So it is acting outward direction. This force is pulling the electron in outward direction from the radius orbit. Now second one, the same electron is influencing by the electrostatic force which is pulling towards to the nucleus. That means due to the positive charge of the nucleus, the negative charge of the electron is pulling towards to the electrostatic force. Fe, electrostatic force is acting. It is the centrifugal force Fc is acting. That is the one. Now, so electrostatic force is also acting towards to the nucleus. Electrostatic force which is acting towards to the nucleus. That means F of E is acting towards to the nucleus. Now, there are two types of forces acting. One is the pulling outward direction, one is the pulling towards the nucleus. When the electron will revolve in the stationary in the same radius, when it will guess it? So, when the electron will possess the two forces are equal, then only the electron will have the same stationary orbit. Otherwise, the electron will move outward direction or the electron will move towards the nucleus. If each force is acting more, that direction the electron will move. According to the Bohr's theory, the electron will revolve in the stationary orbit, means these two forces are equal. So that means Fc and equal to Fe, where is the centrifugal force Fc, where the F is equal to electrostatic force. We already know the centrifugal force formula, that is equal to m v square by r. Where is the mass of the electron? V is the velocity of the electron in this radius. R is the radius of the orbit. Let's assume this is the nth orbit. We can take it as the Rn. Nth orbit is the Rn. That is equal to electrostatic force. If the two charges are present at a distance r, how much electrostatic force it will be? We are already well familiar. That value in the electrostatic equation, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into charges in the q, k, q into r1, q into q1 by r square. That is the value. Here the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught will give the k value. q1, q2. That means it is the one positive. One positive charge means how much? One electron only. E into, here is the one electron is having A divided by r n square. Let's assume this is the nth orbit, nth radius circular orbit we are having. So now these two are equal. So now we are equating these two. Now our aim is this r value we need to find out. Square is cancelled. This value is cancelled. Rn is equal to this value. These two 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught I am taking as a k. You already well familiar in the electrostatic theory. So in the topic we already well familiar. Rn I bring in top. So remaining all terms I am sending. So a square divided by k into e square divided by mv square. Let's assume this is equation number 3. So what is the here? The unknown parameter. K is the constant value. E is the charge of the electron. M is the mass of the electron. V is the velocity of the electron in that radius. That is the Rn radius velocity of the electron. We don't know this value also. So we are concentrating on V value. What is the value of the V? We need to find out. Now we are going to V value. Now what is the condition we are having? We are having, according to Bohr theory, if the electron is revolving at a particular stationary orbit, that stationary orbit, it will have that stationary orbit. We are having angular momentum should be equal to the nh by we are having according to the Bohr theory. So in the stationary orbit, the angular momentum mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi. Which formula we are using? According to Bohr's theory. According to the Bohr's theory. So Bohr's third point we are taking this one. So at this one we are eliminating this V value. V value we are eliminating. So V is equal to nh by 2 pi into mr. See, this is in the fourth equation we are taking that V value we are having. In the third equation we need to eliminate the V value. That fourth equation V value substituted in the third equation. Now we are writing here. Now take it here. So the third equation implies like this. What is the value? Rn is equal to stationary orbit radius Rn is equal to k into e square divided by mv square. We are having mv square. Instead of e square we need to write nh by 2 by mr. We are having that is equal to, we are taking 1 divided by v square we are having, that is equal to nh divided by 2 pi mr whole square. Third equation implies like this. So now I am rewriting this equation. What will happen? K into e square divided by m into 2 pi m, sorry, 2 pi means square, that means 4 pi square m square r square divided by n h, sorry, n square h square. See, any we are having division parameters, values having m square will cancel, rn here is there, rn here is available, so 1 rn 1 square is cancelled. Now rn is equal to this rn, sending all parameters this side, n square h square divided by k e square 4 pi square m is also available, 4 pi m square. Now we need to know that we are substituting k value also. What is the k value? K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So I am substituting k value in this one. N is equal to n square h square divided by 1.
If we substitute these values, so we will get the Rn value is equal to n square h square epsilon naught pi m e square. Where is the n is telling it is the orbital number. It will tell n is equal to 1 first orbit, n is equal to second orbit. Where h is equal to Planck's constant, that value is equal to 6.62 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. Epsilon naught is equal to permittivity of the free space, that value is equal to 8.86 into 10 to the power of minus 12 Coulomb square Newton meter square. So m is equal to mass of the electron, that is equal to 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. A is equal to charge of the electron, that value is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 Coulomb. So if we substitute these all constants other than this n value depends upon the number of the orbit, if the first orbit, second orbit. So remaining all value is substituted, the Rn value will get that 0.53 into this Rn value we will get that 0.53 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter into n square will get, that is equal to Rn is equal to n square into 0.53 angstrom unit we will get. So 10 to the power of minus 10 meter we can write it as a angstrom. So Rn is equal to R. Then we can easily find out with the help of this formula, where Rn, radius of the electron in the Bohr's atom, is directly proportional to the n square value, that is the square of the orbital number. So this formula will ask the several competitive examination. So this value also they will ask the several competitive examination. You can easily find out if R1, that is the radius of the first orbit, is equal to 0.53 angstrom unit. If R2, that is equal to radius of the second orbit, substituting in this equation, so 2 square, n is equal to 2, R2 means equal to n is equal to 2, that is equal to 2 square into 0.53 angstrom unit, that is called how much? 4 into 0.53 angstrom unit. You can easily multiply it with the help of your calculator. So in the similar manner, we can easily find out the radius of the electron in a particular orbit. So this is the first value for the Bohr's atomic theory. In this one, we find out the first thing, radius of the electron in the hydrogen atom with help of the Bohr's theory. The remaining value, velocity, time period, frequency, kinetic energy, we will go to the next class. We will find out in next class. Thank you.